Meeting was brought to order by President Dr. Janice Lake Betts at 3:18 p.m. She opened with prayer, and Harry Lake read from Scripture, Psalm 33, verses 13 to 22. Secretary Emily Jane Rush read the minutes from 2013, which were approved as corrected. Janice Betts spoke of communications she received during the year, and we learned everyone. That doesn't sound right. Oh, and we welcomed everyone, after which we introduced ourselves. Reports of officers and committees. President Janice Lake Betts led a conversation on how to continue our campaign to support the prohibition of alcohol in Ocean City in conjunction with the Board of Directors of the Ocean City Tabernacle. Also discussed was how to bring future generations into active attendance and support with our family and reunions. Assistant Treasurer Harry Lake gave his report, and it was approved as given. Checking account balance is $3,219.69, and savings account balance is $200, as of August 22nd, 2014. Historian Sharon Lake is resigning her position, but will continue for the time being until a new historian is elected. She said she records records of grandchildren and great-grandchildren with all pertinent information of birth, and we should try to do the same. Unfinished business. Harry Lake led the tour of Salem Cemetery this morning, and said about 8 or 10 members joined him in the tour. Richard Dow IV volunteered to assist with technology and look for ways to interest our younger family members in being active in our group. Leslie Orman is unable to continue as our webmaster, and Doris Rush Lopez volunteered to take over that project. 67 people attended the day's meeting. We were told the account of how the tabernacle bells rang for Halloween. The original bells were donated by the bell ringer, which I don't have his name. The cookbook project is ongoing, but many more family recipes are needed. T-shirts are still on sale and on display for purchase. This year's scholarship was given to Muham Ahmed. Discussion was held about having the scholarship opened up to Lake family members as well as Ocean City High School. Motion was made, seconded, and voted upon. Motion carried. New business. Next board meeting scheduled for December 6th, 2014. The board will then discuss the date for next year's reunion and decide whether August or September would be best, as such members are dissatisfied with the cost of lodging in August. Board meeting also planned for April 2015. Ideas for fundraising are needed. Election of officers. Henry Lake has moved to Hawaii, and Lois Carano will take the position of treasurer. with Harry Lake as assistant treasurer for the present. Seems like I have an awful lot of notes this year. Sharon Lake explained that sometime in the future they will be moving to, Sharon, is that North Carolina or South Carolina?
North Carolina.
North Carolina, okay. North Carolina. So they don't want to hold office in the meantime, as they don't know how long they will be living in New Jersey. She will help as much as possible until a new historian is elected. Thank you, Sharon and Harry. You've done a fabulous job. All other officers and board members remain the same, except for the addition of Andrew Tisdale to the board. Open discussion. Janice Betts thanked Ginny and Joe McGinnis and their helpers for their work in arranging for our lake lunch and the buffet dinner. Also, thanks to the people from the Tabernacle who were such a big help. Sharon Lake read a card from Ruth Ann Blair and a letter from Rose Carey's son, Gary, in Japan. Family faces are magic mirrors looking at the past, present, and future. That was a quote. The meeting was closed with a benediction at 4:23 p.m. Respectfully submitted, Emily Jane Rush, Secretary. Note, many members enjoyed watching Ocean City, the musical, in the afternoon. We were jitneyed to the Moreland Theater on the boardwalk and provided with some complimentary popcorn and drinks. Reverend Richard Carlson, CEO and director of the Tabernacle, wrote the musical with help from others. A really nice addition to our day. Thank you, Reverend Carlson. We also enjoyed the wonderful music and entertaining puppet show provided by the Berry Pickers Bluegrass Gospel Group during the buffet dinner. Are there any additions or corrections?
Approved.
Thank you. By the way, this is going to be my last meeting as secretary. So we thought we had a replacement, but I don't see her here today, so it looks like maybe the position of secretary is still open. So give it some thought, please.
Okay, thank you, Emily. Thank you for all your work through the years on that. It's a lot to write down, all that we talk about in our meetings, since it's only once a year. So seems like a lot, but it's not when you think we have quite a few things to do. So we thank you. And we have reports of committees and officers, but before we do that, I would just like to thank those who have served this year and who have given input via phone and email correspondence in some direction for us throughout the year. Since we're not all close together, it's really important that we connect, and now with the ability that we have through the even being able to Skype and talk face to face, we can communicate and stay more connected as a family, which is a great thing. I had the opportunity to visit Henry and in Hawaii. You know, he was with us last year, so even though we're far apart, we're actually pretty close together, which is and you were there at the same time.
Well, I actually got on the plane while you were I was leaving. I didn't know you were coming on.
Right.
We just missed each other.
Yeah.
Kind of
Yeah. So
almost there.
It's a small world. But I wanted to introduce the officers, and I'd like you to come up because I think sometimes people don't know who you really are. And so if Franny Dunbar, who's the vice president, will come up. Franny's all the way here from Rochester, New York. And Cynthia Abel is the second vice president, and Cynthia's all the way here from Bristol, Pennsylvania. And Emily Jane, who you just saw, come on back up, Emily Jane, is our secretary from Mays Landing.
I take notes, I can't.
Okay, you can stay there.
At the same time.
Okay. And Lois has not been able to fulfill the job as treasurer, so we are in need of that position, and I think Harry has agreed to stay on as acting, but we need to fulfill that position if Harry does fulfill the move. So Harry Lake, assistant treasurer, and Sharon, our acting historian, Sharon Lake. And our board members, do we have Barbara Abel here? And Barbara's from Willow Grove. And I didn't see Christopher Janowchek. I didn't see Christopher today. But Richard Dow III and Richard Dow IV. Move on down. Move on down. Yeah. And Edna Yu. Sue. I didn't see her. Stephanie, Amy. And she's from Mechanicsville, Maryland. Leslie Foreman from Phoenixville, Pennsylvania. And Diane Murphy from Manchester. And Diane couldn't be here. So there you have the executive board and board members of the Lake Family Historical Association, and just give them a hand for serving in this capacity. So this looks like a great day, but there's a lot of people behind the scenes who give lots of direction, and I couldn't really put this together without the advice behind me. So I do appreciate that. Thank you all. And Sharon, you want to stay up here to talk about your historical records? Sharon Lake will talk about the historical records position. And I know while she's doing that, we'll move on with the newsletter. Richard McDowell was working on the newsletter, and we've had a volunteer to help with that. And where's Franny? Yeah, Franny has volunteered to work with that and work. You know, if Richie wants to.
Richie's got himself wholly involved in a project at a local church, and he's got a new job going on. That's why he's not here now.
We knew it was difficult for him.
You know, I'm trying to keep him
in the loop, but there'll be plenty for him to do as the years move on. But we felt a need to communicate more with the newsletter throughout the year, because there's always things happening, and if we wait a whole year and we don't touch base with each other, it's not good. So Franny has volunteered to take that on, and she will be communicating with you via email to update everything and get us on track. So Sharon.
Hello. I racked my brains until 2 days ago trying to figure out something that I could bring to you historically. And I haven't, but now I have too much. But just bear with me, okay, real quick. I just wanted to tell you about two people, and then a third one that is in our midst today that I didn't think was going to get here, but he did. Sarah